Yes, literally as I was about to talk. I go take a phone call and I come back and Yogi is sitting here talking to my camera, but the joke is on him because I have a microphone and you didn't have a microphone on, so yeah, joke's on you. I was on a phone call, so I just recorded my phone conversation while you were on it, so joke's on you. Yep, so anyway, that's how we're starting out this episode of Garage Time TV with the invasion of Yogi's garage here at our off-site location. So he's over here cleaning up to go home for the day.
You didn't hear what I had to say.
Yeah, I guess it is a good thing I didn't hear it. But we're going to jump around a little bit. I had a couple things on the schedule that I wanted to work on today, but I think what we're going to do is try a sample of paint, which I think I mentioned in the last video. We're going to go with the Rustoleum paint job. Now, I know a lot of people are not fans of it. They don't like it. They think it's a knockoff paint job, but in all reality, all the experience I've ever had with it, it's turned out great. You do a 2-to-1 mixing ratio, and we'll cover all that. But this is the filler panel between the convertible top and the trunk cavity where like the engine is, and this is what we're going to test on. So what I'm going to do is I've got some 240 and some 320 grit with me, and then I went to Harbor Freight, picked up a paint gun for literally $10 with their parking lot sale going on. So with paint and all this other stuff, we're in it like 80 bucks to give this a shot, and if it works, I'll just go pick up more of the same color and we can do the whole car in this. The first 850 I did, if you guys have not seen that series, I'll make sure to put a link up in the video here for that. But we actually painted that one safety blue, which is a Rustoleum color, and it was a super durable paint. We did 2 or 3 layers and it was rock hard, so it was perfect. So we're gonna try that again with this one. So what we're gonna do is the exciting stuff of just sanding this down, getting a lot of the paints, cracks and spidering out of it. There's a lot of chips in around the filler hole for where the gas filler neck is. So we're just gonna start knocking this out, and then I'll show you guys how we're gonna mix it, and we're gonna do a test spray outside in the back. All right, so now that we got that sanded, we did a 240 first, just to really knock down a lot of that stuff. Those little chips and stuff, especially around the filler neck here. It's not perfect by any means. And then we did a 320 on top of that to really just kind of get some of those bigger scratches out. The Rustoleum is really gonna cover a lot of that, so I'm not super worried about it. But our next step is, you can see that my hands are all red from this, so we're gonna go rinse this off, use like a degreasing soap, so like Dawn or just dish soap. So we're gonna run over, get this rinsed down and really dry this, and then we're gonna set up outside, and then we'll start talking mixing ratios to spray this down with our air compressor and our Harbor Freight paint gun, and then we can see what it looks like and kind of how that works.
A few moments later.
So here I am editing this video in the future from where this is happening, and I'm editing it here in the office, and I've had the realization that when I'm doing these mixing ratios, I did 2 parts acetone, 1 part paint. It should really be 2 parts paint, 1 part acetone. I think at the end of this, I kind of realized that the paint is really too thin, and you're going to see at the end of this little section that when I have it off with the screwdriver coming down, it purely just drips way too thin. And so it really needs to be 2 parts paint, 1 part acetone. So you'll see kind of my math in this. I just had the chemicals backwards. So again, 2 parts paint, 1 part acetone. In this section, we're going to be using 300 ml of acetone. We should really be using 300 ml of paint, and then 150 of acetone. So just keep that in mind as I'm talking. Where I say acetone, I really mean paint. So just forewarning, as my future self edits this in the past for you in the future to watch. You get what I'm saying. All right, so now we're gonna start moving on to paint. The joke is on Yogi, who is messing with me because now we're on his bench. So if we spill red paint, he gets to live with it. Anyway, so what we're going to be using is this Rustoleum. This is the Sunrise Red. Now, of course, oil-based. Now we have to thin this to go through an air paint gun, so we're going to use acetone to do that. Now we're going to use a 2-to-1 ratio to dilute this with the acetone. So you can get a mixing cup that's like this, that's got all these ratios on the side, and it's very intimidating. But what we really want to focus on is this one that says 2-to-1-to-1. Now this is if you want to be very specific. Also, another really easy way to do this is 2-to-1 ratio. So if we use 200 milliliters of acetone, we need 100 milliliters of the paint, so that put us at 300. That's a very easy way to do that if you want to use just the numbers gauge, or you can follow these lines on the side as well if you want to do that. So what we're going to do is, just for simplicity's sake, I haven't used this specific cup before. It's actually supposed to like go onto the gun and stuff, so it's going to be pretty nice. And so I'm not sure exactly how to, like, what each line is representing. So just to make it easy for everybody, I'm going to use the side numbers here, but I want to make sure I have enough made. So I'm going to look at some proportions. So maybe we do 300 of acetone, which would give us to 150 of paint. So I put 450. So it's still a 2-to-1 ratio. So I think that's probably what we'll do, is we'll do 200 acetone and then fill up the rest with paint to 450. So we'll get to mixing. I'll grab a stick, and then we can start talking consistency. All right, so we're gonna do the acetone first. So I'm gonna be down here and I'll show you guys. So I think we're gonna go to 300, roughly 300. Luckily the stuff evaporates, so if you spill a little bit, don't worry about it. Paint, that's a different story. You're not gonna wanna spill that. 300, yeah, that's 300. And it smells a little funky, so you're gonna have to get used to that. And but like, yeah, it spilled on my hand, it's already all dry. So on here is gonna be 300. I know it's a little shaky, but that's basically 300 mil. And then we're gonna open the paint. Oh my goodness, I almost dropped that in there. That would have been devastating. I almost did it again. Oh, it's one of those days, I guess. All right, now look, is this how you should paint every car you do? No. Is it perfect for a car like this that we're really just wanting to get driving and enjoying and doing, you know, driving things? Absolutely. So I definitely made sure the paint is right. I'm gonna shake it up, make sure all the pigments and stuff are shaken. Don't want to have any like dark spots or light spots or anything like that. And then we're gonna open this back up. And we're gonna fill this up to 150, because it's 2-to-1. Because if we multiply 150 times 2, that gives us the 300 that we filled it up to. So I really hope that I don't spill any of this, because Yogi's gonna be very, very mad at me if I spill this. Perfect. And there's a towel right here. Perfect. It's like he knew I was coming. All right. This would be hard to tell, but yeah, we're like right at 450. So we're gonna mix this up, and we wanna have a nice drip consistency, so we'll mix it. This is good. We're gonna mix it nice and good. And then when we're done, we're gonna want it to have like a run, and then a 1, 2, 3, and then it should drip. So we want it to be nice and mixed. Runs, and then it starts to drip. Because you don't want it too thin, because it'll cause a lot of sags and runs in the paint, but you want it to be thick enough to where it holds itself. So we're gonna mix this up and we'll load it up in the gun. All right, so we're gonna shoot this with some paint, and we're gonna see how it turns out. Now, I've got the gun with the flow all the way out, max fan. I got the compressor set at about 20 PSI. This is a high volume, low pressure gun. That's what HVLP stands for. So we're just gonna do an initial layer on this. It should be nice and warm now after we washed it. We don't want it too hot because it'll flash too quickly. So we're just gonna do a first coat on this. We're just gonna dust it, and then we're gonna wait about 10, 12 minutes, and then we'll come back and do another one. So that first coat was super light. Of course, you can still see a lot of the stuff coming through. So we're just gonna let this dry for a little bit, but I do like the red so far. Obviously you can still see there's hardly anything there. But we're just trying to create a tack layer for the next layer to really stick to. So we're gonna wait, like I said, 10, 12 minutes, and we'll come back and take a look at it and try it again with another layer.
1 hour later.
Okay, so we are done shooting it outside. You can see how nice and bright and vibrant it is now that we've moved inside. So what we ended up doing is 3 just dustings of it, nice and light, really letting stuff stick to each other. It was super humid outside, so it kind of didn't help us out. But we did 3 of those, and then I came back after a good 12 to 15 minute time window, and I did a good, nice, smooth, heavy sweep to get it all nice and coated. Now there are still some spots that you can see through where like it was on bare metal, so it's still like a dark line, but it's all gonna be hidden underneath other panels. So going forward, what I think I may do is do it like a dark color, so maybe like a dark gray first, and then do the red on top of it, because when it's all splotchy like it was, we have to do more and more layers. So if it's nice one even coat of color, it turns out a little bit better, I think. So let's take a look at it over here as it continues to dry on the trash can and see where we're at so far. So here it is, nice, bright, vibrant red. Looks a little different out in the sunlight, and the camera doesn't quite give it justice, but it looks really good actually. I like the color. It's kind of that bold red. It's not fire red. It's not like fire truck red. You know, it's kind of like the fire extinguisher a little bit, just brighter. But one thing you'll notice on it is you can see in the reflection, that orange peel, all that design that's in there. So what we need to do is we actually need to let this sit for about 5 to 7 days to fully cure and harden. So that means that all of the acetone fumes and the oil-based fumes are all going to evaporate out of it, out of the paint. And it'll still leave this orange peel on here, and what we can do is go over it with a buffer, and we'll do a quick once over of the buffer, and then we should be able to see a reflection so it's not all hazy like that. You can still see a little bit of the Spyder cracking in there, especially near the edges where the sander kind of didn't get it. But one thing you don't really see is all those chips. All those chips that are all around here are gone. The Rustoleum is so thick that it kind of sits into those and helps level those out, especially with so many layers. So I'm looking forward to priming this, or buffing it, not priming it. We need to prime it initially on the rest of the car, I think, but to buff it and really make it shine, I think it's gonna come really, really good. So we're gonna let this cure for 5, 7 days, and then we're gonna come back. It's gonna be a second for you guys, but a week for me, and then we're gonna get to work on that to get it to shine. Well, the time has finally come to paint it. So we're gonna be using our mixing container here, our Sunrise Red, 7762 is the number on that. We're gonna be doing 2 parts paint, 1 part acetone, and we're gonna have 3 mixing cups kind of ready. So we're gonna do 2 parts of this. So if we do, let's just say 16 ounces of red, we would need another 8 ounces of acetone, which would be 24 ounces. So we're gonna do a couple of those. That should be enough to fill all 3 of these. That way if we run out mid panel, we can just slap on the next one and keep painting so we don't have any dry spots or anything like that. So we're just gonna mix up a whole bunch of this paint, have these ready to go. All right, so I've got you guys super far away. I don't want the overspray to get all over the camera lens, but we're gonna roll out our paint guns. We've got a couple cups mixed up, ready to go. We're gonna start on the front, just work our way back, probably top down, so any sort of overspray is just gonna naturally fall. So let's grab the paint, get the hose out here, start putting some color on this thing. All right, well the paint is on. This is our third coat. Don't stick. So this is our third coat. Looking really good. Still see some dents and dings on this side. Engine bay looks way better. We didn't do anything in there. We just sprayed over it. This whole side looks really good too. A couple dings on the body line, whatever. You know, some imperfections here or there. Some Spyder cracking under there. A little bit of paint inside the front hood area. See where our little dent was repaired. But you know what? We spent like 4 days and just turn around and pump out some paint on this thing. So it turned out really good. In the wheel wells and stuff, we'll do some rubberized undercoating. I'm gonna wait a little bit and start peeling some of this off. Man, we missed a spot right there. We're gonna have to grab that really quick while it's still tacky. So we're gonna run around, do some touch-up spots, mostly into the paint, just so we can get stuff like that corrected. So I'm gonna look really quick, but overall it looks really, really good with some paint on it finally. All right, so I think this is gonna be the end of the episode. We're gonna really let this sit for about a week and we're gonna wet sand. But I think the next steps we do is start working on mechanical. Now I have the seats out for reupholstery. I need to order a new dash and door cards. But I'm not super worried about the interior until we start moving on to the engine. Now, what I'm gonna ask you guys that are watching is for the engine build. Do we wanna do just a quick once over all-in-one video? Hey, we're putting the engine together. This is great, exciting. And then we can start putting it in, or do we want to do a like 2 or even 3-part series on building the engine? I know there's not a lot of information out there. I actually have the factory service manual for these to put it all together, and we can follow exactly with the service manual one by one, and I can throw in some tips and tricks and things. You guys let me know down in the comments as we start moving into the engine part. I'm really curious to know what you guys want. I'd love to do a multi-part series, but I'm also kind of anxious to get this engine put back together and slammed back in this thing so we could fire it up. But you tell me down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribing really, really helps the channel, so please make sure you continue to do that as we continue to grow and work on cars just like this one. Make sure you're following us on Facebook and Instagram. We'll post some behind-the-scenes stuff down there, and you won't want to miss it. So until next time, guys, we'll see ya.